up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. So this video, I'm actually gonna say, is a highly requested video because I've had somebody request this for a while on my channel. They just wanted an update on my braces and my braces journey. So my goal when I got my braces was to actually vlog the whole thing, but life just be lifing for me, and I wasn't able to really maintain consistency with that. So I wanted to come back, give you guys an update, and yeah, because as you guys can see, my braces is off, yay! And I love my results, and I just want to go into detail about my experience. I'm going to go into detail about pricing and any extra cosmetic things that might have taken place during that time or for my plan. Okay, so if you guys are interested, stay tuned. So first, I'm just gonna get up close on the camera and give you guys like really good footage of what we have going on here. And then we'll kind of get into like the whole experience of everything. Cheese. Okay. Okay, so first of all, I love my teeth. I love them. I'm so glad I got braces. I'm so glad my gap is closed. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I thank God that we're here. I'm so over that gap. You can't convince me that, you know, oh, your gap was cute. Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. But we're in a new chapter. Like, I don't even care, you know? So, yeah. Okay, so I want to go ahead and start with, you know, just getting started. So I had to find an orthodontist. Wanted to find one that would accept my insurance. Did find that. Actually found them through, I think it was my website. So your insurance company usually has a website you can go on and you can just look through the list of all of the providers that they work with. And I think that's where I found them. I'm not 100% sure. But we went in for a consultation. I did tell my dentist as well because my dentist wanted, I guess they had to look at it or something or approve something before I got it done. So I did have to do a dentist appointment just with my regular dentist. And then I was able to go see my orthodontist. Now, at the consultation, you guys, for my orthodontist, you guys, they said, oh, you need to go and see an oral surgeon. And I'm like, why? They were like, oh, well, you know, I just want them to look at your gums, you know, make sure everything's good, whatever. Because I have had a chipped tooth before. And I don't know if that's what they were getting at, but I'm not 100% sure. But they definitely told me I need to go see an oral surgeon. I started to get worried because I'm like, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? So I went to go see the oral surgeon, and oh, and they also said it was because of my gums. I think I said it. So yeah, so my gums, they said because my gums are black. I'm like, I've never, like, anytime I ever went to the dentist all my life, nobody ever said anything was wrong with me or I need to go see an oral surgeon. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't all my doctors or dentists, wouldn't they have said something before? I don't know. So, you know, honestly, that was looking a little racist, little microaggression kind of situation. I don't know if that's what I was dealing with, but it kind of felt like that because, girl, I'm grown. Don't you think, I've been to the dentist several times in my life. Don't you think that those professionals would have said something if there was something? I don't know. Anyway, went to the oral surgeon. That was another $100 just for the consultation. Luckily, with my insurance plan, all consultations are covered. So I did have to pay for the consultation up front. And then my insurance company reimbursed them. And then they sent me the money back. Now, they did send me the money back in a check. And I think how their bill cycle was, it took like 30 days for me to get the check in the mail. So keep that in mind. If they tell you to go see an oral surgeon, consultations do cost. Some insurance companies or some oral surgeons, they still require you to pay on the front end and then get your money from your insurance company back on the back end. So ended up getting that done, went down there, and they were supposed to send some sort of x-rays that they took on a disc. I don't know. Anyway, got there, the disc didn't read, they couldn't find anything, so they ended up doing the same x-rays there, which they were not happy about, really, because I guess these x-ray machines cost a lot of money. They don't want to have to use those machines. I don't know. But we ended up doing the x-ray there. The guy was like, yo, you're fine. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, you're black. There's melanin in your gums. It's no big deal. And I was like, okay, great. So I'll tell them that. So I went, scheduled another appointment with my ortho, went back, told them that. They were like, all right, we can proceed. And so, do y'all know, these people told me that it was going to take 2 years. 2 years for my braces. And then also, and if you looked at my videos, they also told me that they might not be able to close the gap due to how big the space was. Y'all, I was so like, I felt so defeated because my goal was to get this freaking gap closed. Like, I do not want to live with even a slither of a gap. You know what I mean? Like, I was over it, you know? So I went, when she told me that, I was like, you know, like I said, just distraught. So I went to my car and I cried, and I posted it on YouTube. So if y'all want to see how bad, I have a video on that. And I went to my car and I cried. I was so hurt. But I was like, bro, I got to reduce the size of this gap. So whatever, you know? So I went back in there, and they proceeded. So we ended up getting the brackets and everything on. That was fine. Now, let's talk pricing. So your insurance company obviously is going to pay for this if you have insurance, if you have dental that covers braces, which I feel like most dental plans do. But I have my paper here. So the total cost for it was $5,213. JK. The total cost was $6,160. But in network, meaning with my insurance, they were going to charge my insurance the $5,213. Now, a portion of that, the insurance was going to pay, and then a portion of that, I had to pay. The portion for my insurance company was $3,127.80. which left me to pay the remaining $2,085.20. Now, this orthodontist did allow for payment plans, so I did do a payment plan. Now, I did end up paying it off early, but I did sign up for it. Initial payment to get everything started was $625.56 to put down to, you know, get everything going. And then monthly, I was going to pay $81.09 for 18 months. So 2 years. And I was, like I said, I was really shocked when they said 2 years. I was like, 2 years? Because I seen, you know, I was watching when you're about to like get a procedure or something, you'll go and pull up other content from other content creators that talked about it to see what their experience was with the same thing. And I see people with way bigger gaps or way more complex issues, and their treatment time was 2 years. And I'm like, bro, mine is really straightforward. Close the space. That's it. Close the space. So I just really did not understand why it was supposed to be 2 years. And at the end of the day, it actually did not turn out to be a full 2 years. So everything was going well. The pain level, when I first got them on, it was intense. It was just like a lot of pressure. Okay, it didn't hurt, it was pressure. Then when you try to eat, that's when you felt like true pain and not just pressure. Okay, and when you first get them on, you feel the pressure, but by the end of that day, oh, you feel it. Like, you feel it. Anytime I would go to get new wires and all that, then when they first did it, it was fine. But by the end of that day, I was really feeling some type of way. I was like, oh my God. I didn't really have too many headaches. I know sometimes people say they get headaches with everything. I didn't really have too many headaches. It was just like a lot of pressure that I had to deal with. But then over time, you know, it like you get used to it or it loosens up. I don't know. But the pressure, you know, it kind of alleviates over time, which is great. And then also, the more you do it, the more you kind of get used to the whole process of things. So it doesn't like hit you like that anymore, you know, when you get your new wires and stuff like that. Now, I will say, sometimes they are rough with putting the wires in, taking them out, putting the power chains on, taking those off. And honey, when they put those power chains on, that is really the pressure, because here's my thing. During my time, I experienced like lots of sensitivity in my teeth to where I couldn't drink like cold drinks or like any cold air. It would literally drop. The sensitivity to cold stuff at a certain point, that was so crazy. And then that feeling that feeling that you get when you feel that coldness, y'all, I feel like that might have been the absolute worst part of the whole thing, because your teeth are moving, the nerves are like, I don't know, tripped out about the whole process, and boy, they become so sensitive, so sensitive. And during that time when I had to go through that, they were having to take off the wires, put on the power train. That was the freaking worst, because they don't feel it, you feel it. You know what I mean? And if you're hurting and they're working in your mouth, how can you really say they hurt? You can't even talk. Their hands are all in your mouth, you know? So anyway, I feel like I endured a lot of pain, not even really with like the braces itself, but with them taking the power chain on and off and taking the wires on and off. It was very uncomfortable. Like, it was very, very uncomfortable. So I think that just kind of comes with it though. So, you know, kind of be prepared for that, I guess. Moving on. So we got to a point where my gap started to really, really close. So we're getting to the, you know, close to the end or whatever. And they told me this early on. They were like, you know, as the gap starts to close, the gum tissue starts to bunch together. And depending on, you know, how that works, you're going to need to get it lasered off, get it cut off. And I was like, oh my God, what is that going to cost? And they were like, well, they don't do that procedure at the orthodontist. You have to go somewhere else, periodontist. You have to go to the periodontist for that. So I feel like I've seen all the freaking doctors that work on your mouth. I feel like I was able to see them during this whole ordeal. I've been to every mouth doctor during this whole thing, okay? So I had to go to the periodontist. Now, gearing up for the periodontist, I had to find someone who was willing to work with me and help me file this claim to my insurance company. Because the periodontist, from what I understood, none of them take the money from the insurance company, right? You have to pay for whatever that procedure is on your own. And you have to deal with the claim to get the money reimbursed from your insurance company. And I did not want to have to do that by myself, because I literally had no experience in that. So I didn't want to do that. So my orthodontist recommended me to a periodontist. And literally, it was the gum tissue right in between my two front teeth. That was it. And it was like just a little, it was just like a small area, right? You guys. Guess how much it was to get that shit lasered off? That little piece of gum tissue. I mean, it was kind of puffy, swollen, whatever. But, and that's another thing. You have to go do a consultation, of course, which is the right thing to do. But they do charge you for those consultations. So again, every consultation you do have to pay for. And they were able to take some off. No. They actually... I ended up saying, okay, well, if I have to pay for the consultation, I'm not doing it. So they were like, okay, no, we'll give you a free consult. But then when I got there, they tried to do some sort of x-ray or some sort of photo something. And I was like, am I going to have to pay for this? Like, you guys, y'all got to ask them, is this going to cost me? Don't just let them say, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. Ask them, does this cost me? Is that covered by my insurance? Like, don't just let them tell you what they need to do. Because if you just let them go with it, and you get hit with a bill, after it's already done, there's no disputing that thing. You know, they've already ran the x-rays. They've already taken the photos. Like, before they do that thing, you need to be all over the price on it, okay? So, pretty much, that whole laser thing cost me like, it was like $2,100 something. I don't have anything for that in front of me. I did pay it on my credit card. I'm going to be $1,000 with y'all. Now, I was hoping that I would be able to pay paid the credit card off with the insurance reimbursement before, you know, the balance ended up rolling over and costing me interest. But I was not able to do that. So I did have to come out of my savings account to pay my credit card off, to then be able to not be hit with interest on that purchase, and then just get the money back and put it back into my savings when the insurance company reimbursed me. But one of the main reasons why I went with the periodontist that I went with was because they told me that they would help me file this claim to my insurance company to help me get the money back. Now, that was a whole other ordeal, which I really should have made a whole video about. I guess if you guys want me to go in a little more detail about how that went, I'll make a quick little snippet, or maybe I'll go into it like within a vlog or something. I'll just kind of talk about it if you guys want to hear about it. But that whole thing was something else. But anyway, I had to get the gum tissue lasered off. And again, it was $2,000. I had to pay for it out of pocket. I did end up getting the money back from my insurance company. They did help me get it reimbursed. Then again, I feel like I did most of the legwork on that whole thing. But again, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. The point is, you may have to go to the periodontist if your gum tissue starts to bunch up and it needs to be cut off. That way the teeth can fully close. The gap can fully close. And so that's what happened to me because my gap was so big, it bunched up. I had to get it cut off. The procedure was not painful because there was like some sort of gas, something that they give you, which numbs you so you don't feel it. But they do put the needles in your gum tissue, like in your gum. So you do have to do that. So I know that that's like the worst. And I actually have had that happen to me a couple times. And that stuff hurts. That stuff hurts. There's no way around that. Those needles in your gums, it hurts. But they have to numb the area around it because they're about to laser it off. They said that you won't feel it, but you'll smell it. I was like, what? And it's really just because they're lasering off tissue, which is like meat or something. Like, it smells like burning meat. Is what it smelled like to me. And I was like, oh my God. But I mean, I didn't feel a thing. I didn't feel a thing. And they did prescribe antibiotics afterwards. And I think it was on like $15 for the antibiotics that they prescribed to me. But I was like, bro, I don't want to go get antibiotics for this. Like, it was such a small situation. I'm like, bro, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. And I was right. We were fine. And I did go get the antibiotics. You guys may need to get the antibiotics. Don't do what I do. Do what you need to do. Okay? But I did not get the antibiotics, although they did prescribe it. So anyway, I was panicking. I'm not gonna lie. I was panicking. I was like breathing hard because I was nervous. I was like, oh my God, what if I'm going to feel this? Because, you know, they don't feel this. They don't know if you're like gassed up enough. They don't know if it's like numb enough. I was so worried that I was gonna feel it. Like, I was like, as she started to bring the thing to, you know, they were like, close your eyes, close your eyes. They were like, close your eyes. And they were like, you need to close your eyes. Like, they got real serious. And I was like, okay. So I went ahead and closed my eyes. But I was so nervous. I was like breathing really hard, really hard, really hard. But as she started to work, I was like, oh, I don't feel anything. So, okay, I guess we're good. So, periodontist, that ordeal was an ordeal. Again, I got my money back from the insurance company. So, fast forward after that. At that point, we were approaching a year. When I went to the periodontist, we were almost a year into treatment before they told me, okay, you need to go see the perio. And also, I was having a hard time with flossing with my braces on, which is a given because you have braces on, so it's hard to kind of get in there. So that did not help the gum tissue. Like, it was really puffy. It was just like, I guess, infected or whatever. So they had to pop it. And it was bleeding. I was so mad when he popped it because he didn't even give me a heads up. He just popped it. You know what I mean? And he actually did that during the consultation. I was very upset with him when he did that, but it helped. It helped. Like, later that day, I was like, shoot, that actually helped me out a lot because that area was so sore. Oh, and another thing, little tip. If you have pain and stuff like that in your mouth, gargle salt water. Warm salt water. Gargle. Yo, I got to the point where I was putting more salt than water in the water. You don't need to do all that. But that really helps. My orthodontist did not tell me that. Nobody has told me that. You want to know who told me that? TikTok told me that. TikTok told me that. I'm at home. My mouth is just, you know, from the whole puffy gum tissue, swollen, whatever. Ugh. Okay, like I gargled salt water over and over. Literally the first time I did the salt water, instant relief. Instant relief right then and there. You guys, if you take nothing else, just know gargling salt water during this whole thing will help you. It will help you. And I'm very disappointed in all of the doctors that I saw. Not one, including my regular dentist, mentioned gargle salt water. They didn't say that for anything. I had to find out through TikTok, but that's another thing. So that's a little tip, gargle salt water. So we were a year. So after I got that done, we approached my year, and the gap was pretty much, it was pretty much gone, to be honest with you. But I wanted them to turn my tooth. So my tooth, one of my front teeth, they have a little chip in it. And if you turn it, it makes that chip not look so obvious. And so they had to, do what they do with the wire and so forth in order to get that tooth to move how they want it to move. So I think that's what took the rest of the time, because I wanted that adjustment. And so this was around August of 2024 when I approached my year mark, and they were working on turning the tooth and just kind of closing everything up finally, just, final touches on everything. My braces came off officially on December 20th of 2024. December 20th of 2024, I got my braces removed. And it was up to me, because they just had started spacing out my appointments like 6 weeks. At first I was going like every 4 weeks, and then around October, November, they started spacing them out to every 6 weeks. I'm like, okay, cool. This is how I know they're slowing things down. We're getting done. There's not much, left for them to work on at this point, but they want to keep billing my insurance. Pretty sure that's what it was. We're not doing that, okay? If we're done here, we're done here. Because why? Because I paid for the full 2 years, and we don't need the full 2 years. Therefore, there needs to be money back in my pocket. I was looking forward to a refund, which I did get. So I ended up, let's kind of jump to that point. I ended up paying it off early. So I ended up getting a new credit card, and it came with like a sign-on bonus if you spend X amount of money within X amount of time. And I was like, well, I need to pay off my braces anyway, so I'll just use that as one of the things that, can go towards the sign-on bonus spend amount. So that all worked out really well for me, because I was able to pay that off, and I paid it in full. Which, listen, there were some stories to a lot of these little situations, but we're not gonna get into that. But long story short, these people, they said, like, they were surprised that I paid it off early. Let's just say that. They were surprised that I came in there ready to pay the whole thing off early. Okay? They were surprised. And they kept talking. They were like, when I came to pay it off, they were talking amongst themselves. They were like, that was easy. And the other one would say, that was easy. And the other one would say, that was easy. I'm sitting there like, they playing with me? They just kept saying, that was easy. That was easy. Is this going off in my head? What kind of microaggression? Should have went to a different ortho, huh? Yeah, so I actually had paid everything off. So again, my year mark was August 2024. The periodontist was July 19th of 2024. I paid it off. I feel like it was May or June. I paid the whole thing off. Was it May or June? Yeah, I think April, May, June. It was somewhere around there when I paid the whole thing off, or whatever, for my ortho treatment. So anyway, we got the braces off December 20th. That whole procedure was pretty smooth. Now, let me tell you, when it comes to setting the appointment for getting everything done, they made it seem like they wanted me to put it into 2 different appointments. So I guess they wanted one appointment for taking everything off, and then they wanted another appointment for creating my retainers, because they do all that in-house. And they were like, oh, it just takes a lot of time. I'm like, I really don't care. I'm paying you guys. So whatever amount of time it takes, you're getting paid for it. So I need you to do it, okay? Okay. So anyway, I told them I want to do it all in the same day. So we came there that day to get it taken off. They took everything off. They shaped everything down. They polished it. I was so impressed. Y'all, when I got my bracelets off, I was so impressed, okay? The moment they stepped out their room, I got on the FaceTime. I called my mama. I called everybody. Look. The moment, I didn't even say anything. The moment they pick up the phone, they were like, oh. I'm like, yeah. They was like, it looks good. It looks real good. It looks good. They were like, wow. Right? I don't know about the wow. I'm like, not too much on the wow. Not too much on those wows. Okay. But yeah, everybody's like, wow, pretty much, you know? And I'm so impressed. I'm so happy, like, so happy. Now, following my braces, I now need to get composite bonding in order to just, like, line everything up, bring everything together, like, just perfect the smile. So I am scheduled to get that done with my dentist, but we have to do like a pre-appointment and then the appointment. But I'm looking to change my dentist, so that may not be happening as soon as I thought and hoped. But ultimately, I have to go to a dentist to get the composite bonding in order to get everything just flawlessly lined up, top and bottom, you know, just get the finished, you know, package going on. So that's what's left. I have no idea what that's going to cost me. But if you guys want to know all about the composite bonding, the finishing, all that, let me know. I'll probably drop it into like a blog or something so that I don't have to do like a full video on it. But if you guys want a full video on it, of course, I got you. But yeah, so that's where we are now. And it ended up taking, so August was a year, September, October, November, December. So it took a year and 4 months. A year and 4 months for my treatment instead of the full 18 months or 2 years that they originally said. But I do want to say that had I not said, okay, you guys, I think we're done here. I'm not seeing any more movement here. Had I not said that, I do believe they would have just ran that treatment time for the full 2 years. So that way they can still get paid and there wouldn't be a refund. So keep that in mind. You need to keep it with your treatment. You need to see if what you wanted has been accomplished, because if it has, you don't need to continue treatment. Like, you're in control. You're paying them. You know, they're here to do what you want them to do. They work for you. Don't forget that, okay? So I'm the one who said, hey, you know, I think we're done. I'm ready to schedule an appointment to get them off. You know, they didn't bring that up. I brought it up. I'm ready to get them off, you know? And I'm happy that I did. So when I got them off, they did also add wires. So I have wires on the inside of my top and the inside of my bottom. So because my space was so large, they were like, you know, your teeth could start to move again and start to space out again. So in order to ensure that everything stays, you should get the wire. Now, adding that, it is an additional cost. However, my insurance did pay for it along with the money that I already paid for the whole treatment. And since I had excess money in my treatment plan, because like I said, I didn't need all that time, they were able to get the money out of that. I didn't have to come out of pocket for anything. They were able to get the money out of that. Yeah, so they added wires to the top and to the bottom just to keep everything locked in. I did get retainers. They are just clear retainers. I kept asking them, is this Invisalign? Because it just seemed like an Invisalign tray. Like, I didn't get Invisalign because it was going to cost me more, and I did not want to pay more, which I do not regret, not one bit, because I thought my braces were cute. Like, I had my braces moment. I used to want that ever since I was a little girl. I wanted braces, you know what I mean? And yeah, I don't regret choosing Invisalign over braces at all. It wasn't bad. I used to be like, oh no, I'm gonna be grown and have to wear braces, but who cares? They were cute and they got the job done, and it was way more affordable than Invisalign. But anyway, the retainers these days aren't what we used to see back in the day, where it's like this metal thing and it's like this, I don't know. That's not that anymore. They are clear trays, clear plastic, hard, thick plastic trays. And they mold, like they make a mold of your teeth, top and bottom. And oh my God, I felt like she was about to pull my whole, like everything out when she tried to take that mold off. I was like, good God, girl, be gentle. This is my face you're about to snatch off. Anyway, she did the mold, top and bottom, snatched those out. She made the retainers right there. And it was pinching a little bit, so she kept having to, you know, melt it to kind of take it in so it's not too long, not to just do that, whatever. And long story short, I now have retainers, and all of that was made in-house with my orthodontist on my last day of getting my braces. And like I said, they polished it up, they smoothed it out. Like, everybody was like, wow, it looks really good. Congratulations. I'm like, thank you so much, you know. They were great at the end. Like, customer service was great. Everything was great at the end. You know, we had some funky little moments, okay? And I was trying to vlog. That's another thing, you guys. I did try to vlog, but they were like, can you just give us a heads up before you bring the camera in? So they really didn't want me to vlog them. And she would wear her face mask anytime I had the camera out. Like, the moment I stopped bringing the camera, she stopped wearing her face mask. Like, she did not want to be seen, which is fair. So that is also another reason why, y'all, I was like, okay, let me not really vlog all of this. I could have just did like sit down videos just to talk through it, but I wanted to show y'all, you know, and they didn't really like that. So that was another reason why I didn't really vlog it like that after a little while, because they was like, can you just let us know? And I'm like, how am I supposed to let you know? I'm supposed to call y'all ahead of my appointment and say, hey, I'm bringing the camera today. I guess that's what they wanted, but I was not with that. So I just said, scratch that. So yeah, so I think that brings us to the end of my whole braces journey. I could show y'all my retainer, but I'm like, why do y'all need to see retainers? If you want to see my retainers, I will put it in the vlog. Just let me know. But yeah, you guys, that was my whole journey. I love my results. I'm looking forward to the composite bonding just to polish everything up and make it perfect. And yeah, I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful that I had insurance to pay for it. I'm grateful that I had money in the bank to cover the periodontist and that whole laser, what is it called? Gastric? No, I can't remember. And that whole laser thing. I'm just grateful for the whole thing. So happy I did it this way. So happy that it's done. And yeah, if you guys want to see my gap, go back to my other videos. Check out those videos. Got plenty of videos with my gap, okay? And I love the results. So if you're thinking about doing it, do it. Do it. Okay? Do it. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, you look good with your gap. No. Do you like how you look with your gap? Do you like it? Do you feel like you look good with that gap? If the answer is no, do it. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.